they are the synagogue of Satan. I always wondered what synagogue of Satan was, but that's who they are. They are the synagogue of Satan.
Well, I'd agree with that. I know
it's Revelation 2:9 and Revelation 3:9.
Okay. Well, I have to agree with a lot of what you just said, especially about the false Christians. I used to be a pastor of a church, and I see many people that would even come to church on Sunday, would sit in the pews on their Sunday best, and open their Bibles, and to seem like they're following and paying attention and going along, but you see them out in the street and outside of Sunday, and it was just like you never would ever known that they were professed to be Christians. The way they acted and the way they talked and the way they conducted themselves. So, and that's what. And again, I've thought it many times in your analogy right there. That the reason I asked you that is that I thought many times I see these individuals out there, and I immediately think of Pharisees that sit on their high thrones and in their fancy garments and profess to being the true righteous, and they were just as bad as the guy that they were they were trying to convert to or save or so forth. And so yeah.
The other tares. The tares that are sown, that enemy, they are the tares.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Another chapter in your book that hit close to me. I great proponent of Santa Claus. It's something that fortunately my wife and we got saved, and I got saved before my wife did, and when our children were little. It was a little bit of a battle, but she seemed. I brought her around with the help of the Holy Spirit to bring her around that Santa Claus is something we should not project, something we should share with our children, is something being a viable character that's actually anything about him that is true. You say that you titled the chapter Santa Claus the Great Imposter. Can you talk about why you put that? That's kind of why the rest of them is kind of an odd one to put in there. Why did you put that in there for?
Well, because I thought I should address this, and it's very interesting because, Satan Hebrew numeric is 359, and is mentioned for the first time in the Bible in the 359th chapter. I believe it's the First Chronicles 21. And 359 is 359 in French, and it has the value of 1776. So I thought that this was very interesting. Also, the Christmas holiday is just inaugurates the last week of the year, and of course we will know that when the Rapture comes, it will inaugurate the last week of the prophecy of Daniel. So I see a lot of analogy with this pagan feast, which was not Christian to begin with. It was Sol Invictus, an old pagan festivity dedicated to the sun. Among others, so it was to just put Christmas, like make it like made it up like it's a Christmas, it's a Christian celebration, but it's not. It's it's the Satan likes to copy Jesus, so but this is the negative aspect of it. I believe that's fake. I mean, look at the similarities. I mean, both of them come from heaven. They have a throne, they let the children go to them, they offer gifts. I mean, you can look it up in my book, several similarities like this between Santa. I call him Santa Satan because Satan is really the anagram of Santa. And, I see a lot of similarities between both of them, and to me it's not, and plus, if you stop and think about it, ever since Babylonian time, the fir tree was really a tree that was, like an idol tree. And the Old Testament talks about the pagans going and sacrifice, or they had some altars on the green trees. And when I think of green trees, I think of the fir tree because it's green all day long. So you can imagine people back seeing those trees, and of course they keep all their leaves all the time. So they figure, well, it's just like a symbol of eternal life, and they must probably place some offerings under the tree, like placed under the offering. And when we do the same thing when you place the gifts under the tree. It's no repetition of this. If you look at the negative aspect, I mean, if you don't know it, if you don't do it on purpose, I mean, God knows the heart. But I'm talking about the origin. The origin is not too pretty,
So would you? So are you a person that's against celebrating Christmas as it's portrayed now in any fashion, or?
Yes, I'm going to tell you why. What I don't like about Christmas is being the self-serving celebration. You're like, what am I going to get today? What are you going to get me for Christmas? You know, me, you know. Mm-hmm. And, you know, it's just been commercial. You know, people forget really the real reason behind Christmas, because I believe Jesus was conceived, you know, on Christmas Day. I mean, it's encoded. I found those, I believe, you know, God, you know, in every feast you have the good aspect and you have the bad aspect, of course, because, you know, God's still in control. And I've seen some good codes, like, for example, you're not going to believe this one. You see, you can write 11 September like 1109. Well, if you count 1109 days after 9/11, you come up on the 24th September, and I believe it's 2004 or 5 anyway. But 24th September, when I found that, it just hit me because it's exactly 9 months to the day after the 24th December. And you see the relationship between 1109, which stands for 11 September, and Jesus Christ. You know, this is one of the many codes we found. And those codes, it just shows me that Jesus and only Him alone is encoded in the calendar. And by the way, we do have a calendar like before Christ and Anno Domini, the year of the Lord. So everything is indexed starting from the symbolic birth of Jesus Christ. I mean, there's no such thing as a year zero, but you know that's how calendar works.
It's interesting. Well, I noticed on one of your, I got and did some research on the internet a little bit, and you had a couple websites listed in your book here, and one of the numbers you seemed to be on there was the number 108. I saw that quite a bit on the website material. What's special about the 108?
Well, you know, that's a number that's, to me, it's tied to the flood, because there was, we found some codes. There's so much to talk about, but well, there was let's see, 108. Yeah, saying one point I said we could write it almost 10 and 8, because there were 8 people in the ark, but you had two more rapture mentioned in the Bible, which 8 plus 2 is 10, so it's just one of the codes, and which is the rapture of Enoch and the rapture of Elijah. Oh, by the way, we have found out that second chapters, verses 9 to 11. Just let me read it and enjoy. Mm-hmm. And it came to pass, when they were gone over, that Elijah said to Elisha, Ask what I shall do for thee, before I be taken away from thee. And Elisha said, I pray thee, let a double portion of thy spirit be upon me. And he said, Thou hast asked a hard thing. Nevertheless, if thou see me when I am taken from thee, it shall be so unto thee. But if not, it shall not be so. And it came to pass, as they still went on and talked, that behold, there appeared chariots of fire, and horses of fire, and parted them both asunder, and Elijah went up by a whirlwind into heaven. So this is 2 Kings verses 9, 2nd chapter verses 9 to 11. And when we found out that our mind was blown, because we found another chapter that pertains to another famous ascension, which is the ascension of Jesus Christ, which occurred exactly in the 1st chapter verses 9 to 11. So to me, God had encoded those verses, almost 2,000 years ago, when the Bible was written.
Well, that's interesting.
Yes.
So, would you think it'd be? The answer probably yes, but do you think that the people should be more in tune to the numbers and how they play out to? As you say, will that give you a better understanding of the Bible, in your opinion?
Not really. I mean, not necessarily. The Bible. The Bible numbers will appeal to certain people. God has many avenues to show, His existence. Numbers are just part of it. Mm-hmm. But for those who love numbers and who like, I really believe that my book has got answers to the Da Vinci Code.
I see. And
I have a code to prove it, and the code. The lady I work for, the Da Vinci Code was written by a guy named Dan Brown.
Yes,
Where the lady I work for, that's a lady, her name is Diane Brown. To me, that's a code. Maybe not to you, but to me, that's a powerful code. And that confirms that my book, I believe, is got answers to the Da Vinci Code. So this is a real code. These are God's codes. This is not made of codes. You can count up the days, and the codes. I mean, probably you can find more codes. You know, I mean, I just couldn't put all the codes. The hardest, I guess, was to, you know, to choose which code to put in which